Hi guys, welcome to my first ever pickups video. I've been meaning to do one of these videos for a while now, but I've just never got round to doing it. So I thought I'll show you the games I got at Play Expo Blackpool that happened in October this year. And it's the first one I've been to for about 2 years. So yeah, we met up with some other YouTubers. Such as Xyphoe, Yellowbelly, Novabug, Mr. Bads, Retrobait, and forgive me if I forget anyone's name. There's that many people there, and I was drunk most of the time or hungover. So yeah, we all met up in the hotel bar on the Friday nights and had a few drinks, and then on the Saturday nights we managed to get into the after party. So thanks to Steve at Retro and Lim for getting those wristbands. And the after party was good because all the arcade machines, or most of the arcade machines, were on till about midnight. So you had arcade machines, pinball, some of the consoles were on as well. And there was free pizza and the bar was open. So it was a good night. So yeah, the Play Expo, when it's in Blackpool, is always held at the Norbreck Castle Hotel. Sorry, the Norbreck Castle Hotel. Yeah, so they've got a massive exhibition space called the Nork Olympia. Yeah, Nork Olympia. And here's the leaflet we got. So it's got all the schedules for the panels and the times. It opens out into a map of the exhibition hall. So yeah, now first things first, on the Saturday morning we went straight to the Traders Hall. Early bird catches the worm and all that. And now usually at these Play Expos they don't tend to have many games for 8-bit micros. They always tend to be like, like Japanese imports or Master System, Mega Drive, Atari. And then you've got your modern games like your Xbox 360, PS3, PS2, Game Boy Advance. But they don't tend to have many traders selling games on tape. So, your Spectrums, Amstrads, Commodore 64. This year, there was about 3 or 4 sellers carrying 8-bit micro games, and that was amazing. So the main computer I collect for is the Commodore 64 because that's what I had when I was a kid, and I only came away with 3 games for the Commodore. So the first Commodore game I got, it's a game I've got on many formats, and I've already got the big box version of this on the Commodore. So this is the Hit Squad version of Batman the movie. So yeah, it's a game that I more or less pick up and play every time I turn my Commodore on. I can sit through and play the entire game in one go, usually within one life. I played it that many times, I know the game like the back of my hand. And the next one, unfortunately this game doesn't work. So I'm going to have to test it on my other data set to see if that works on there. It's a game I had back in the day, and that is Bomb Jack 2 on the Encore label, which was Elite Systems' budget range. Now, from what I remember, you don't pick up bombs, you pick up bags of gold. And the music is the theme tune to Thundercats. And I'm going to do a video on that, explaining why that happened. I mean, when 30 odd years ago, I recognised the music as Thundercats, but I didn't really question it. It was just like, oh, it's got the Thundercats theme tune. But yeah, it's not a bad game. It's nothing like the original Bomb Jack. Instead of like flying to collect the bombs, you just jump in from platform to platform, collecting the bags of gold. And the next one, well, the last Commodore game I got, it's a game I never had back in the day, but my friend had it on his Spectrum, and we used to play it to death. We used to get really far, from what I remember. But I play this now, and I can't even get past the first level. And that is Ocean's The Untouchables. Still got the price on there. I need to get some lighter fluid to get that off there, because I started peeling it off and it started to take away the cover. So yeah, it's not a bad game on the Commodore. And I know on the it's either the Amstrad or the Spectrum, it's really difficult to see your enemy's bullets because it's like the monochrome. Like the Amstrad's just a Spectrum port. But yeah, the Commodore, it's got music in game, and you can actually see your enemy's bullets. So that's got the instructions on the ocean bag. It's always nice to have the little ocean bag to keep everything together. So those are the Commodore 64 games. So moving on to the Spectrum, I've got 6 games in total, and the first one is a Hit Squad game, and that is Daley Thompson's Decathlon, 48k only. And I'd never played this on the Spectrum before. I played it on the Commodore 64. But when I tried this, I was using the joypad, like a joypad, and they're not the best games to play on a joypad. You're better off using a joystick. Hence the reason why they're known as joystick killers. Games like this and Track and Field, Hyper Sports, Combat School. The next one is another Hit Squad game. This one I had back in the day on the Commodore. And I've never actually played this on the Spectrum, and that is Rambo First Blood Part 2, and it's one of those games that you can finish in like 10-15 minutes, so if you got this game back in the day and paid full price for it, you'd be very disappointed after 10-15 minutes, because I think the game just loops. And the next one is an early Ocean game, and that is the official release of Donkey Kong. Now there were some rip-off versions on the home computers, like Crazy Kong or Killer Kong or something. I can't remember, but I have seen a few ports of this game. This is the official, officially licensed Donkey Kong, which came out in 1986. Oh. It was earlier than that on the Spectrum. And the next 2 games I got, the seller let me have these for a tenner. They were priced at £6 each, and he let me have them for £10. And the first one is the follow-on to Yi Kung Fu, which is Shaolin's Road. I'm not really familiar with this game. I have played it, but it's not one that I really enjoy playing. I mean, I prefer Yi Kung Fu to this. So yeah, this is the smash hit follow-up to Yi Kung Fu, and yet they did Yi Kung Fu 2. Now, I'm not sure if Yi Kung Fu 2 was just for the home computers or whether it got a release in the arcade. I'm not sure. But yeah, like Target Renegade. So Renegade was an arcade machine that got ported to the home computers, and then Ocean, or was it Imagine? No, it was Imagine who did Target Renegade just for the home computers. So that game didn't have an arcade machine. So yeah, that's Shaolin's Road. And the next one I got off the guy was another classic, an arcade game. That's Gauntlet. And this is a multi-load game, and again it's a 48k only. So this loads, like, I think it's like every 4 or 5 levels. So when you load the game for the first time, you get to play through the first 4 levels, and then you load the next 4 levels and so on. and there's about 100 levels in the arcade. I'm not sure how many there are on the Spectrum. It's not too bad on the Spectrum actually. Yeah, I don't think there's music in there's no music in the arcade, is there? There's just on the title screen, but I think there's music on the Spectrum title screen. There, the Spectrum screenshots there. And the last Spectrum game I got, I played this a few weeks ago and I finished the entire game in one sitting. Mainly because you have about 6 continues or something. And it's a game I'd never played on the Spectrum, I don't think, but I did have it on the Commodore, and that's Dynamite Ducks. It's got the Amiga screenshots on the back, so they always tend to show the best version of the game on the back of the box to lure you in. That's complete with the instructions, and it does look like someone's coloured in the words there very neatly, and again on the tape. And it's got a leaflet advertising Ghostbusters 2. Got a few of these actually, because I think they came with Power Drift as well, and I think maybe Wonder Boy Monsterland. So, there are all the Spectrum games. Now, moving on to the Amstrad games. Now, I've only started collecting in the last 12 months for the Amstrad. Got this about 12 months ago. So I came away with a grand total of 9 games on the Amstrad. And the first one, I already have the game, but it didn't work. And it was only £2, so I thought, well, I'll buy another copy and hope that one works, and luckily it does. And that is Roland on the Ropes. Now, it's one of those games that takes absolutely ages to load, and for an early game, I'm not sure why it takes so long to load. I mean, it even tells you in the instructions it takes 9 minutes to load, and for a simple game, I mean, Chase HQ, that takes probably about 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes to load. And yeah, go figure. So that's Roland on the Ropes. It's not a bad game, it's very simple, you know. Next up is a game I used to love back on the Commodore 64 30 odd years ago, and that's Silkworm. Sequel to Xyphoe, and it is a 2-player game, so one of you plays the helicopter and the other one plays as the tank, and it's a really good game actually on the Amstrad. I've never played it on the Spectrum, but I've played it on the Amiga and the arcade. It's a really good shoot 'em up, really addictive. I've noticed on all the other versions, I don't know about the Spectrum, but all the other versions, the end of level bosses have either a helicopter or a tank at the end, and it alternates. For some reason on the Amstrad, it's just a helicopter, because I think I got to like level 4 or 5, and each time it was a helicopter. So I'm not sure why they didn't do the tank boss on the Amstrad. The next one is another arcade coin-op, and that is Rolling Thunder. Now this is it's a good game. It's got nice presentation on the Amstrad, especially with the title screen. You know, it's got the the animated title screen with the bad guys like saluting the master. Yeah, so in the arcade there's different coloured uniforms for the enemies, but in the Amstrad they're all wearing the same outfit, so you don't know who takes 1 bullet to kill and who takes 2 bullets to kill. So you just got to keep spamming the fire button. But yeah, I've never got past the first level on this on the Amstrad, whereas Xyphoe, I think he finished the entire game few weeks ago on his Am stream. By the way, Xyphoe got me this T-shirt, Am Squad. So thanks Xyphoe for that. Next on the Amstrad, so I've got 3 hit squads on the Amstrad. The first one is yet another joystick killer, like I mentioned. That is Combat School. And again, I tried playing this on a joypad and failed miserably. So yeah, you do need a joystick to play this game. And I couldn't get past the first level. I was too knackered after the first 2 attempts. And the next one I used to hate as a child on the Commodore 64. Mainly because you only have a knife, and you do get a weapon every now and again, but you only have 3 shots with it. And that is Green Beret. Now, I do like the game, but back in the day it used to frustrate me because I just couldn't get off the first level. I mean, I should have just stuck with it and just kept trying, but yeah, I used to get angry and just turn it off. And the next one, another hit squad, and it's an isometric game by the same guy who did Head Over Heels, and this one only got released on the Amstrad and the Spectrum, I believe. It never came out on the Commodore 64. And it is, of course, Batman. So this one came out before Batman the Caped Crusader. And I'm not really a fan of these isometric style games. I just need to sit down one day and learn how to play these. Because with this one, I think you have to find different parts to build the Batboat. I'm not sure if Robin's in it. I think maybe you have to find Robin. I know on Head Over Heels you have to get head and heels together. But yeah, I just need to sit down and like learn what to do in these types of games. Movie, that's another one I've got. Yeah, Movie. So that's another isometric game. Just need to get the that label off there. So yeah, when I loaded this up, I was like, oh, it's an isometric game. I'm not really a fan of those things. And the next 3, next 3, yet again, Batman. So I think I've lost count how many versions of this game I've got. Absolutely love it. It's got the ocean bag in there as well as the instructions. No sticker though. But I've got about 3 or 4 of those stickers. Yeah, so yeah, I've got this on the GX4000, but I just wanted it on the Amstrad tape. There's slight, I think the colour difference is, there's a few colour differences on the Amstrad and the GX4000, but other than that, it's the same game. Now this next one, either love it or hate it. I love it because I love the film. And sadly, it is a Spectrum port, and that is Back to the Future 2. And I played this recently on the when I tested this game, and it glitched on the first level. Like you play on the hoverboard going from left to right, and then you go up a street. And when I got to the top of that street, I jumped, and then I just disappeared. I just jumped off the screen. And the game carried on. So I have no idea what happened there. There's no bag, but there's the instructions, I think, and the warranty card. So yeah, on the Spectrum, I think they did a bundle where you got Back to the Future 2, and when you turned it round, it was the Back to the Future 3. So it was like 2 games in one. But I have seen them separately, so they must have released them separately at some point. And the last one, I didn't know about this game until last year. I'd never even heard of it, and it's an arcade machine. And I've never even heard of the arcade machine. It's meant to be a terrible, terrible game. And the only reason why I bought it was because 1, I wanted to see how bad it was, and 2, the box is in absolutely mint condition. And I think the previous owner must have just played it once and just got like just threw it to one side and never played it again. And that's Cisco Heat. And yeah, so I did think this was like a type of Chase HQ game, but it's not. It's just a race where you're playing as a policeman in a police race through San Francisco. So that's just got the obviously the tape and the poster / instruction manual. But yeah, it's like absolutely mint condition. So yeah, that's Cisco Heat, and it is, by the way, a very bad game. The music is just so repetitive. And I only got one game on cartridge. Normally I come away with like a bag full of Master System or Mega Drive games. But I only got the one this time. And I thought I had this, but I've not. I've got it on the... Yeah, I've got it on the Game Gear. And that is Sonic the Hedgehog. Now people tend to think the Master System Sonic is just a scaled down version of the Mega Drive, but it was programmed completely separate to the Mega Drive, so it's a completely different game. And that's complete with the instructions, and again it's in like really good condition. Bit of fading on the spine. If you compare like, the colours, compare the red on the Sonic on the front to the side, it's slightly pinker. And that was only a tenner. And a few other things I got was this poster art of the Atari Star Wars arcade flyer. So I'm going to have to get that framed and maybe stick it above the arcade machine. The guy who's selling these, he had loads of other prints as well. And he also had these like big stickers, basically. Big decals of arcade machine marquees. They were £6 each, or 3 for 15, which was great, but I just wanted that because I've been after that for a while. And the other things I got two of these. They are retro pads. So they're 3D printed NES style pads for different home computers or consoles. So this particular one works on the Amiga, ST, Commodore 64, Amstrad and the Atari 2600. And the good thing about these are he mapped button B to be the up button on instead of using the D-pad, so it still works as the up on that. But if you say playing a racing game, so for example Chase HQ, if you're using a normal joypad, you've got to keep your thumb on the up on the D-pad, and after a while your thumb starts to hurt. But you can use up on the B button. Button A is just fire. So it's really useful for driving games, especially on Chase HQ and WEC Le Mans. So yeah, these were £20 each, and I got two of them. So yeah, really nice quality as well there. I mean, it doesn't even look 3D printed. It just looks like he's just like taken apart a NES pad and just put his own sticker on the front. So yeah, that's everything I got at Play Expo 2021. So thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're into retro games and general nostalgia from the 80s and 90s, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!